What up guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since we've done a chill session. This is chill session 12. It is a beautiful Sunday night sitting at home here. It is 8:50 heading into 9 p.m. The kids are asleep and we're firing up, getting ready to kind of take a deep dive into FTX and what's happened over the past literally couple of days, maybe 4 or 5 days since the collapse of FTX, the second biggest exchange in the crypto space. Now, when this all happened and it broke, similar to a lot of people, I'm just like, what? How did this even happen? How did this happen so quickly? We saw tweets from CZ, and then all of a sudden people started selling off their FTT tokens, caused a liquidity crunch, and next thing you know, things are spiraling out of control. Now, when things spiral out of control, I don't know half the story, so I'm leveraging on interesting things that influencers, crypto YouTubers are saying, and I wanted to take a deep dive and kind of just learn about what's happening myself. So hopefully you can sit back, relax, chill session 12. Let's look at what's happening with FTX. So the first thing we're going to do is listen to a Twitter space that was brought to my attention by Cryptos R Us. I am George. He listened to this roundtable Twitter space that was organized by Mario Nafal. He had Wendy Wang on there. Now, Wendy is the CMO and co-founder of Coldlar crypto wallet. She's also been involved in Huobi, which is a cryptocurrency exchange founded in China. So, she has some insider information, insider knowledge on everything that's happening. And the Twitter space is really interesting because she talks about how SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, pretty much brought down Luna and brought down Three Arrows Capital, I think it is, or like he manipulated the market. But I wanted you guys to listen to it, and then we can kind of talk about it.
Sam is playing around with the user's assets, and taking those risks. CC was not happy about this, and that's why he mentioned in his initial tweet, we learned a lesson from Luna. You're saying that he knew that his tweet will trigger what it triggered today.
So Luna, well, okay, so that's another story. So Luna was, at the very
Audio just cuts out a little bit.
beginning, why Luna got how to say? So the Luna, the whole situation of Luna also caused by Sam. But Sam didn't take any advice or didn't take any.
Okay, so that's I knew I heard it right, Wahid. I knew I heard it right, Wahid. So he's saying the Luna situation was also caused by Sam
Yes.
through Alameda.
Yes, and then CZ somehow he noticed Sam. He talked to Sam, and then Sam didn't listen to him, and then Sam did a 3 arrow on purpose. So 3 arrow got bankrupt, all because they had a future trading, they had a prep trading on FTX, and Sam did it a counterparty everything.
Okay, so I'm not too educated and versed in how trading cryptocurrency and all the Wall Street terms, but essentially my understanding is she's saying that Sam knew about this future trade that was happening with Three Arrows Capital. They put that trade through FTX, so his exchange, so he knew about it, and he put a counter trade in, and this is how he's making his money, because he also had some kind of involvement in the collapse of Luna, and he needed to make money, and knowing that the trade was going on his exchange, he kind of counter traded it, and that's how he got Three Arrows Capital, how he liquidated it.
So CZ was not happy with it, and then he find out that's because it's a, like people know, it's a like 8 billion gaps. Like there's why Sam is doing it, because he need money. And why he need money? Because he moved all of the users money, not his money, on FTX, moving to do something else, to do his personal trading, his personal futures and preps.
So he was 8 billion in the hole, and he moved a lot of users' money from FTX exchange over to the sister company Alameda Research, which is a cryptocurrency trading firm. So I didn't know that either. So, I'm doing all this research and trying to understand what the whole FTX situation is. But Alameda Research is a sister company from Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, and they pretty much made some bad calls, made some risky trades, and they were, billions of dollars in the hole. And in order to prop them up, Sam Bankman-Fried organized, some dodgy trades on FTX, countered 3 Arrows Capital, liquidated them, got whatever amount he needed to try and prop up Alameda Research. Now, this is what Wendy Wang is saying. This is all, hearsay at this point.
So this is everything
to support Alameda after what happened with Luna and 3 Arrows. He moved the funds from FTX users funds to support Alameda because he mentioned to an investor. There's a report they mentioned to an investor that FTX owes $10 billion to Alameda.
So this is all comes out little by little, but at the very beginning, CZ knows everything. So CZ actually politely.
Go ahead. Sorry. Finish your sentence. Sorry.
Yeah. So CZ actually politely informed and talked to Sam, and Sam was saying yes, but he's doing no. So that's why I think that CZ was have to take some actions. Otherwise, his whole money, his whole investment will go zero.
So it's interesting that Wendy Wang knows this, or see, she's asserting this to be true, but she's saying that CZ is aware of all these things that SBF is doing to try and prop up his sister company, Alameda Research, right? So he's making all these dodgy deals. He's countering anything that's going through his FTX exchange. He's making money. He's pumping it over to Alameda Research because Alameda Research was also impacted by the Luna collapse. They lost heaps of money, right? And he didn't want his sister company to go down. So he's doing all these dodgy things, but not only is he not doing it with his own capital, he's doing it with the capital of his users. He's doing it with the money from the actual users themselves. And as we remember on Twitter, he said that no, users' money were not used recklessly to trade at all.
Go down to the zero. So I think this is one of the reasons why CZ started this. And the second reason is to running an exchange, you are a CEO. I'm not saying that, everyone can, I'm not saying that Sam is not doing good, but rule number one, don't touch your client's money, your user's money. And rule number two, don't use leverage. And Sam,
Alameda Research, risky trades using leverage, 10x, 100x leverage to try and, greed, right? This is just all greed. And again, not even using their own capital. They're using the capital of the users, their own people, right? And then George on Cryptos R Us also saying that the reason why they decided to bail out BlockFi was also because they could pull the money from BlockFi users over so that he can continue putting it on risky trades, and then pulling from BlockFi to FTX, and then provide that money into Alameda Research. So it's all very interesting. We'll just leave it at that. Maybe we'll come back to it later, but we'll just look at a couple of articles here. So Solana price plunges, end of Solana without FTX. Now, a lot of people invested in Solana. I am invested in Solana myself. I've said it before. I probably bought it towards the top or mid range. It's my worst trade so far. Okay, the amount percentage wise it's gone down is ridiculous. But a lot of people are saying because FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried was a big fan of the Solana token, Solana ecosystem, they were really supportive of that ecosystem, that blockchain, that now FTX has gone down. Everyone is worried that the price of Solana is going down with it, and it has gone down ridiculously. At the moment, it's sitting at $13 US. The future of Solana has been thrown in question after FTX bankruptcy and the collapse of Alameda Research, both major investors in the Solana blockchain. Now, as you can see there, geez, at its height, 200. This is too painful. Honestly, it's just too painful. At its peak there, $247, and right now sitting at 13. Back in October 21, if only we had a crystal ball, we would all be selling. Now, Alameda Research was an early investor in Solana. It contributed to the private token sale in 21, where the blockchain raised $300 million from various private investors. The round was led by Andreessen Horowitz. Bankman-Fried's companies continued to work with Solana blockchain. In March 2022, FTX collaborated with CoinShares, blah, 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 blah. Now, Rand from Crypto Banter says something really interesting. Solana is getting killed. The market realizing that CZ Binance now owns 10% of the tokens and that he would rather support BNB chain than Solana. Also, Solana just lost all the support and investments that FTX and SBF were making in the ecosystem. Now, that is really interesting because there is a video out there by CZ, and he's talking about, Solana ecosystem. It's not their fault that this happened. They just happened to be collateral. They were supported and really backed by FTX, and now FTX has gone under. People feel like, well, whoever ends up with the Solana tokens that is part of the FTX exchange, they're just going to sell it, right? And the price is just going to tank. So yeah, that's what's happening with Solana at the moment. So if you're holding Solana like I am, not advice. I just really don't know what we should all be doing at this moment. So regarding Alameda Research, what is Alameda Research? Sam Bankman-Fried's secretive proprietary trading firm is a major DeFi investor. Now, Alameda Research is a quantitative cryptocurrency trading firm. It was founded by Bankman-Fried, also known as SBF, in October 2017, and is a major decentralized finance investor. It's headquartered in Hong Kong. Private equity firm has made more than 185 investments according to Crunchbase. And look at the FTT token, trading at $55 at one point in time. Now it's $1.75. That is, again, very painful. Alameda's relationship with SPF crypto exchange has been at the center of scrutiny after CoinDesk published Alameda's balance sheet, revealing 40%. Oh, I should increase that so you guys can see the 40% of the crypto of the company's assets are denominated in the FTX or FTT token. 40% of the company's capital is locked in FTT. The revelation that Alameda largely depended on its sister firm's token rather than fiat currency or third-party cryptocurrency sparked large numbers of investors to flee. So this is the thing. When you create, you're literally creating money, right? You're using your own token as capital rather than actual fiat dollars. So that's where that has all gone wrong. Now, if you were on Twitter yesterday, the disaster that was happening, that was unfolding real time in front of your eyes, it was crazy out there. Hundreds of millions of dollars are now flowing out of FTX wallets thanks to Fubar for bringing this information to us. Some speculate liquidators, but it's late on Friday night. Not typical times for such rapid heavy movements. Some withdrawals are being swapped from Tether to DAI, hack or insider actions. $26 million right here. And as you can see, the outflows, right? $1 million in Tether, $1 million in USD, 2 million USDs. Look at the amount of money, 26 million DAI, multiple transactions for 26 million. This is crazy, right? And if we go down, they seem to be moving everything. You've got Paxos in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. They've got Pax dollar being shipped, Sushi token, SHIBs being shipped, 8 coins being shipped, Shiba Inu again, Matic. So they're just shipping it all out. Even the wrapped ether, right? They're just depleting the stock, and a lot of people are saying it's a hack. The official word on FTX Telegram, I believe they said it was hack. Don't log into your account, don't download third-party software to log into your account. They are being hacked at the moment, and a lot of people, conspiracy nuts out there, it's just mighty convenient, isn't it? Like on the 11th, FTX calls that it's bankrupt, files for bankruptcy, and then on the 12th, a major hack happens where there is between $400 and $600 million flowing out of the wallets of FTX. And it all came crumbling down thanks to CZ. And yesterday he put this tweet out, which I thought was interesting. What a crap show. And it's going to be crypto's fault instead of one guy's fault. Okay. And it all happened when let's just see. Let's just go back when this all happened and how it all happened. Never use your token as collateral. So CZ said, we go back. Okay, I think we've gone back too far. So pretty much this afternoon, FTX asked for our help. There is a significant liquidity crunch. To protect users, we signed a non-binding letter of intent, intending to fully acquire FTX. Now, there's more to this. Okay, there was a liquidity crunch because CZ put out some transparency. Okay, he said that they had a large holding here. Everyone wants more transparency in our industry, right? My tweets were simple. There were questions about a large 580 million FTT deposit to Binance, and we were transparent about the fact that we are closing our FTT positions. All right. So there was a huge deposit of FTT. Maybe they moved it from their cold storage wallet into the exchange with the intent of selling it. Now, CZ said he's liquidating it. Okay. I was out with friends yesterday when the topic of whale alerts came up, blah, blah, blah. So I wrote a thread 5 minutes and posted it. Little did I know it was going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. So the straw that broke the camel's back was CZ saying, hey, we're liquidating our FTT position. Now, why do you think he put out a tweet saying that he was liquidating his FTT position? All right. It's exactly what Wendy Wang was saying in that Twitter space right there, because CZ knew there was something going on with SPS. CZ knew that SPS was doing some dodgy dealings, some poor practices. He probably knew that he was using, his users' money, and he was just like, I'm out. Like, this guy is taking too many risks. He's doing something that's literally unethical. It's against our principle. So I'm out. Right? And as a result, he was being transparent with his users on Twitter and everyone on the Twitter space. It was like, we're selling our FTT because we don't want to hold it anymore. We don't believe in the token. We don't believe in FTX. We don't believe in what they're doing. So let's actually take a look at CZ's most recent speech or interview in Indonesia, and I think this literally happened a couple of days ago.
Great financial crisis.
I think that's probably an accurate analogy. I think we just seen another very big player going down. A few months ago, there was Luna, 3 Arrows. Luna was big, 3 Arrows was smaller. And then with Celsius, Voyager, they're even smaller. But then FTX is big. So with such a big player going down, I think we're seeing $30–40 billion of value that's in FTX valuation that was before that they raised that, plus quite a few $1 billion of user funds that's kind of gone. So with this type of events happening, it's devastating for the industry. A lot of consumer confidence is shaken, and I think basically we've been set back a few years. Now regulators rightfully will scrutinize this industry much harder.
So ZZ is at least he's being honest. He's saying rightfully regulators will now have to scrutinize the situation because billions of dollars have been lost. Mums and dads, and someone's taken all these funds and made off with it, right?
Which is probably a good thing, to be honest. I think now, before the regulations are much more focused on KYC and AML, I've always been saying, look, you got to focus on the exchange operations, where the user funds. So I think we'll come into a lot more scrutiny on those fronts. But actually, that's good for the industry.
So, you know what happened with FTX, and I know you can't comment on the FTX side, but
He's going to comment on it.
what
I love
actually
it.
happened the last 3 days? I mean, this is only 72, 96 hours, but I mean, if you can share with us what's on your mind and what's going on.
Yeah, so I think the last 3 days is just a revelation of problems. The problems were there way longer, right? So like this problem wasn't created in the last 3 days. So basically,
I feel like this problem is just based on greed and the reckless nature of one person, or maybe a few people, right? But it's the reckless nature of SBF, it's the greed of SBF, and everyone's painting him as this saint that is altruistic and wants to give to charities and all this stuff. Meanwhile, his company is making risky moves, risky trades, losing money, and instead of taking an L, he gambles with users' money and digs himself in a greater hole.
we have an exchange. Well, FTX is misappropriating user funds. They were taking user funds to do other things. I think the trigger was like a week ago. There was a CoinDesk article. And then my team says...
So the CoinDesk article again says that majority, they've looked into the wallets, they've looked into the research, and they've found that most of FTX's capital is locked up in their FTT token instead of actual fiat money.
As well, hey CZ, we still have this, we still have a lot of FTT coins. Like what? Should we sell it? Sure, why not? So the next day, there was a big transaction reported by Where Alerts saying that like $580 million US worth of FTT was transferred to Binance.com. And my team's like, CZ, this is our transfer. I was like, well, really, you sure? He's like, yeah, he's sure. And should we be, like there was discussions in the community, and should we be transparent about it? It's like, yeah, sure, we should be transparent about it. And then he said, CZ, you should write a tweet, because we don't, like what we'll call the interns, our PR team, says we don't really know how to write this particular one. This is quite sensitive. So I was actually just going out to meet two of my friends who actually also came to Indonesia now. I was on my way out to meet with them, and then so I just wrote a tweet in a few minutes. But
he makes it sound so casual. I just wrote a tweet in a few minutes because the intern, the PR team said, hey, there's a fairly the Whale Alert picked up that $580 million worth of FTT have just been loaded into our exchange.
I wanted to explain like how do we have this much, right? So we can't just have $580 million worth of FTT all of a sudden. We got it. We didn't buy it from secondary markets. We got it as a transaction of our exit, equity exit out of FTX a year and a half ago, which was publicly reported. So I said that, and then I didn't know my phone will blow up like over the rest of the evening. So, and I also didn't know, the second day I said, look, I didn't know this is the, I think the word we used was the straw that broke the camel's back. And that's before Sam, SBF called me 24 hours later. I thought it was just causing a lot of waves in the Twitter, in the community. 24 hours later, Sam calls me, says, hey, CZ, can we talk? Okay. And then he says, well, I thought he was going to do an OTC deal, right? I thought he was going to ask, hey, CZ, why don't we do an OTC deal? Then we can put all the negative comments out, then confidence is restored. I thought he wanted to do that. But instead, he just said, look, we have much bigger troubles. I said, look, we don't want users to be hurt.
So the funny thing is, according to Wendy Wang in that Twitter space, like CZ probably is sugarcoating a little bit. Maybe he doesn't want to disclose all the private details, which, fair enough, very respectable. But he probably knew already that FTX was in a bit of a crunch. Like, why move $580 million of FTT if you weren't going to sell it for a reason, right? If you trusted the ecosystem, trusted the exchange, because it was number 2 exchange, right? SBF was working with all these regulators, all these politicians. He's the second largest donor to the Democratic Party. If you really believed that he was doing big things and he was going to kind of bring in mass adoption in the US with the second largest exchange, why wouldn't you hold on to the FTT token? You must have known something.
And we want to protect the users. So the deal, to be honest, I can't comment on any specifics on the deals, but from our perspective, the deal the deal did not make sense from a number of fronts. From a financial perspective, is a big hole. From new users, FTX, we have very high overlap. We cover all the regions they cover, and they have much less users than us. From a technology or product perspective, I think we have a superior product. They don't have anything that we don't have. So our original intention was to let's save the users. But then the news of misappropriating user funds, and especially US regulatory agencies' investigations, we're like, okay, we can't touch that anymore. So, and then we said, look.
So they're part of their due diligence before, opting to buy FTX, because remember, there was only a letter of intent and they could pull out any time. They're part of their due diligence. They realize, FTX is under the watchful eye of certain US regulatory authorities. There's something happening here. They're being scrutinized. They're being investigated, and that was probably one of the deal breakers as well.
And then as soon as I understood we couldn't touch it anymore, I said, let's make that announcement as quickly as possible, because we don't want.
Right, because that's fair to make that announcement as soon as possible, because a lot of people are holding on to the FTT, hoping that, hey, maybe Binance will pick it up and maybe there'll still be some legs in this token, as opposed to, dumping the token. And as soon as he was transparent about saying, hey, we're done, we're out, we've found some things that we didn't sit well with us, bang, token dumped.
We don't want to do a slow no. If we're going to do a no, we do a quick no. That's one of my principles in business. So then this way we don't drag on for a long time, and then we also remove any uncertainty or doubt in the community, because as you can see, when the deal was going on, the deal was happening, the crypto was dropping. Uncertainty is actually worse than negative news. So when the news is out, everybody knew, okay, this is where we are. So we said, look, let's announce it as quickly as possible. So we announced it. And then after we announced it, I've been trying to keep quiet to the extent possible. So I didn't appear on any TV interviews, etc. But this was arranged weeks ago. Yes. So I still want to honor that commitment. So I flew here. Now here we are.
No, but thank you for being so.
So CZ there being very candid. I admire CZ and what he's done to build this Binance empire. But yeah, there you go. That's what CZ has had to say. Now let's take a look at more recently. People are saying that SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, denies he has fled to Argentina as $600 million is hacked from FTX wallet. Okay, so the disgraced founder of bankrupt crypto exchange FTX has denied rumors he has fled to South America. Now, again, Fubar with his screenshots. But following Chapter 11 bankruptcy filings, FTX UX and FTX.com initiated precautionary steps to move all digital assets to cold storage. As you should, right? If you file for bankruptcy, you shouldn't keep all your tokens on an exchange, right? So they've apparently moved it all to cold storage. Process was expedited this evening to mitigate damage upon observing unauthorized transactions. So they really should have just done it straight away, but they didn't. On Saturday, blah, blah, blah. FTX US General Counsel Ryan Miller revealed that the company had detected unauthorized transactions on Friday. FTX said it had moved all digital assets to cold storage or offline locations to stop any further thefts. Now, several suggested that the sophistication of the hack indicated a possible inside job, and others pointed out that the timing was strange since it happened the same day the exchange went bust. When asked by Reuters if he had flown to Argentina, he simply said in a text message, nope. He added that he was still in the Bahamas. Argentina has an extradition treaty with the US, so it's probably not ideal location for someone wanting to evade authorities, CNBC noted. So there you go, they're tracking his plane. Obviously, it flew from Bahamas to Argentina. He denies being on that plane. We don't know at this moment in time. So the hacking twist came after two whistleblowers also claimed that Mr. Bankman-Fried had orchestrated a mysterious outflow of at least 1.5 billion and possibly as much as 3 billion of customer funds to Alameda Research. So again, he's propping his sister company up. The Wall Street Journal reported earlier this week that FTX had loaned billions of dollars to Alameda Research to fund risky trades, right? Using leverage, funding trades with users' money. Now, for weeks, there were rumors that FTX and Alameda were in trouble. CoinDesk revealed that Alameda's $14.6 billion dollar balance sheet was full of FTT tokens, a coin invented by FTX. Now, so there you go. This just kind of just outlines how it all unfolded, revealing that there was a liquidity problem. Now, even Andrew Tate is getting on board with this. Let's listen to what Andrew has to say.
I've lived a very long life. I've met a lot of people. I've been broke. I've been rich. I've done it all. And 100% of the time when I meet a person who has lots of money and is very, very frugal with their lifestyle, they are not a good person. 100% of the time. I have a Bugatti. I'm sitting here. I've got a diamond Patek. I've got fucking $6 million of watches, $15 million of cars, blah, blah. I give money away. I'm philanthropic. Fine. When I know people with lots of money and they sit there and they want to drive an old Toyota Corolla, or they're very frugal, they talk about investing, and they save money. These people are always fucking weirdos. Money has no value past a certain number. And if you're going to sit there and hoard it past a certain number, there's actually a degree of greed inside of you. I'm not the greedy one. Me with my Bugatti and my diamond watches and my hundreds of millions of dollars buying everything, buying penthouses in Dubai, I'm not greedy. I'll give my money away. It's the people who hoard and live these very fucking boring, frugal lifestyles that are truly greedy. And they're truly evil. FTX is a perfect example. If this motherfucker was driving a nice fat Lambo and he had a big diamond watch and was living a life which a millionaire should live, I would have trusted him a bunch more. But when he sat there and said, I only drive a Corolla and I give all my money away and I just try and hoard it all to just help people, an alarm went off in my head, because everybody I know who is like this 100% of the time in my human experience ends up being full of shit. Full of shit. What he is a fucking dork who wanted to be powerful and influential. He realized that money won't stop him being a nerd because the girl he's hanging around with is still getting plowed by his fucking...
Andrew Tate just going off at SPF. I don't... Look, do I agree with Andrew Tate? I don't know. Let's just keep listening.
Dev. So he wanted to have power, and when you want power, you need unlimited money, so he became infinitely greedy, trying to get as much money as possible to buy political parties, pretend he's doing charitable acts, just have influence and control over other people, then stands up and goes, I drive an old car and I have a cheap t-shirt. And you know what? You dumb fucks believed him. You sat there and go, oh yeah, he's a good person. He won't famoose me for all my money. He doesn't care about money. People like him care about money more than people like me, because people like me spend our money. So next time you meet a guy who's rich but tight as fuck, be careful.
Love it. Very interesting take from Andrew Tate. Probably some pearls of wisdom in there somewhere. Probably some truth in there somewhere as well. It's interesting the kind of parallel that he creates between him and someone like SBF, who I dare say is much richer, or at his peak, right? He was worth like $20-something billion at his peak, much richer than Andrew Tate. But a lot of us, you know, admire his philanthropy, admire the fact that he still, you know, drives a Toyota Corolla, because he feels we can kind of like, we want to relate to a billionaire. Look, there's a billionaire over there, but he just drives a Corolla just like me. But Andrew says something really interesting. It's just pure greed. You know, you would respect someone more and be less suspicious of someone who has billions of dollars and goes and actually spends it. And now that's something that we need to think about. If you ever see a crypto guy, you know, CEO that's not spending his money and he's talking about altruistic behaviors, and he looks like Sam Bankman-Fried. Can I just add, look, nothing against anyone's physical features, but God, Sam Bankman-Fried, he just looks suspicious. He just looks suspicious, right? So this one, Sam Bankman-Fried's sudden turn from white knight to washout. This is pretty much what Andrew Tate was talking about. White knight, right? Everyone's talking about how amazing this guy was and how altruistic and how wonderful, all the amazing things that he's done for the crypto space to bring it to the forefront. Now, Let's read. Until this week, the 30-year-old American was seen as a darling in digital assets who amassed billions in personal wealth by running one of the world's largest crypto platforms. But as traders rushed to withdraw funds from FTX, Bankman-Fried was in denial and told investors he was convinced the business would be rescued, according to source. And again, crypto is not regulated, right? There's no bailout. The government's not going to write you a check. By Friday, FTX had filed for bankruptcy. He apologized repeatedly. Now we know all the deals were fake. SBF had become a prominent and unconventional figure in the industry. He reported his signature wild hair. He looks like a total dork and goofball. All right. T-shirts and shorts on panel appearances. Okay. With statesmen like former US President Bill Clinton and former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, as well as supermodel Gisele Bundchen. Bankman-Fried also quickly became one of the largest Democratic donors in the United States, contributing $5.2 million to President Joe Biden's 2020 campaign. The crypto wonder kid started his career at Jane Street Capital, not like he was poor already, a choice he has said was influenced by a desire to make money to pursue his interest in effective altruism. Oh, how nice. What an angel you are. And here you are using users' money to gamble recklessly, causing billions of dollars lost for retail investors, mum and dads trying to make their way in life using your exchange, supporting you, and you screwing them over. The movement that encourages people to prioritize donations to charities. So there you go. Sam Bankman-Fried built a backdoor to FTX compliance system. Now everyone is talking about this backdoor that he's apparently built as well. Reuters report claims that Sam Bankman-Fried had created a backdoor to FTX's compliance system whereby he could move funds without ringing any alarm bells. The backdoor was built using bespoke software, which allowed Bankman to execute commands that could change the company's financial records without alerting other essential employees, such as the legal finance department. Backdoor permitted Sam to withhold modified records from external auditors. How dodgy is that if this is true? FTX legal and finance staff recently learned that backdoor, according to two people familiar with the matter. So the design flaw in exchange meant that SBF moved an estimated 10 million in FTX users funds, remember users funds, to Alameda Research without triggering internal compliance or accounting red flags. So this is how he was transferring money from him to his sister's company without raising any alarms within the business. And just to rub salt into the wounds, SBF, or Elon Musk takes a dig at SBF, saying that he set off his bullshit detector with his $3 billion Twitter investment offer. So here in this article, it kind of there's the text trail between Elon and I think his banker, and he said that he didn't believe that he was liquid to the number of $3 billion. To be honest, I've never heard of him, but then I got a ton of people telling me that he's got huge amounts of money that he wants to invest in Twitter deal.
To be honest, I've never heard of him. But then, like a ton of people were telling me he's got, huge amounts of money that he wants to invest in Twitter deal, and I talked to him for about half an hour, and I know my bullshit meter was redlining, so I was like, this dude is full of shit. That was my impression.
Wow, so even Elon Musk is taking a dig at the SBF going down. So there you go. That is pretty much everything that I've learnt about SBF so far. And kudos to Crypto Tips. Let's see. Because she called him out a long time ago, and it aged like fine wine. So Heidi and husband Toby, they called SBF out saying why they didn't trust him, and hey, what a beautiful video that was. So 7 days ago she made that one. Here 3 weeks ago, why I think Sam Bankman-Fried is a fake. So go watch that one. She called it out. Video aged like fine wine, beautifully, got it right. So last but not least, I'll leave you with this interesting tidbit article. Binance chief CZ says that El Salvador didn't hold any Bitcoin on Sam Bankman-Fried's collapsing FTS, and thank the Lord for that, because this president would have been run out of office. And so CZ exchanged tweets with the president. I exchanged messages with President Nayib a few moments ago. He said that he did not have any Bitcoin in FTX, and we never had any business with them. Thank God. So imagine, all the Bitcoin, the BTC that the El Salvadorian government had bought sitting on FTX, and that went under, would have been milked for everything. This misinformation CZ was citing stemmed from CNBC interview with crypto billionaire Mike Novogratz. I don't know if it's true, that the El Salvadorian government crypto was on FTX, and they're calling for the extradition of Sam. So that was fake news. Mike Novogratz apologized. Again, I think people are probably looking at the El Salvadorian government and the president as bold, right? Trendsetter government using Bitcoin cryptocurrency as legal tender in their country, but bought probably near the top, right? Bitcoin is sitting at its lowest since the bull run for a long time. But imagine if they had lost a big chunk of it on FTX. That would have been horrible for everybody. Now, with that said, I hope you had a good time doing a deep dive with me on a chill night, looking at FTX and everything that was going on. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, noon, morning, wherever you are. And I'll see you in the next chill session. Bye.